Okay, hello go-getters. I just hope you are doing good. So in this video, I just want to show you how to simplify this kind of question whereby you have to apply your law of exponent. But here we will be applying the first law, which says that when you multiply same base, when you multiply same base, you will add the exponent plus. Yeah. So this is the law that we'll be applying. So here, what first thing that you must do when you multiply like big numbers like 27, 81, try to change those numbers to have the same base by using your calculator. Press 27, or let me start by 81 and say equal, and say shift and say fact. So you can see that if we change 81, it will give us 3 and 4. So now if we change 27, we'll say 27 equal to shift and fact. So now you can see there we get 3, 2 multiplied by 3, 5. Yeah. And also there is a law which says that exponent outside a bracket will multiply each exponent inside a bracket, meaning this thing it will be 3 multiplied by what? By 2, you'll get 6. And say multiply by 3, 4. So now we have all our bases are the same, so we can apply the first law, which says that when we multiply same base, we'll add the exponent. Meaning now we are multiplying the same base. It will be 5 plus 6 plus 4. So the final answer here, it will be 15. So you can leave your answer in exponential form. No need for you to convert that number, because you will get a bigger number. Check. Do you see the number that you get? So no need to. You can just leave the answer like that. Yeah. So now the next question now is this one. So here now, when you see a bracket, like when you see bracket like this, you know that they represent multiply, or sometimes when you see a dot, you know they represent a bracket like this, or multiply. So here, when you multiply same base, well, add the exponent, it will be 2 plus NQ. Be aware that here there is invisible 1, and also here there is invisible 1. So it's 1 plus 1. Then for R, there is no same base for R. You can just put R now like that. So now another thing that I want to tell you is that anything when you multiply to a fraction, anything which is not a fraction, when you multiply to a fraction, it will multiply upwards. Like if I multiply 2, anything which is not a fraction, when you multiply to a fraction, it will go upwards, become 2 times 2, which is this thing, it's 4 over 5. Yeah, but if you feel confused, you can just say 2 multiplied by 2 over 5. Still you'll get the same answer. But be aware that anything which is not a fraction, when you multiply to a fraction, it will go upwards like that. Meaning now the answer that you get when you multiply these two answers, it's 4 over 5. So now to determine the final answer will be 4 over 5, which is P4 and Q2 R3. So this one is your final answer, this one. And if you want to, you can even this thing, write it like this. If there is nothing here, you know that there is a dot, and a dot represents multiply. And I said that anything which is not a fraction, when you multiply to a fraction, it will go upwards. Meaning this thing, you can also write it like this way. 4p and Q2R3 over 5. Yeah. Meaning that anything which is not a fraction, when you multiply to a fraction, it will go upwards, then it become like that. Yeah. So here's another question. And now we know here, when you multiply same base, you add the exponent plus 3. Here is invisible 1 and b2 plus 6. So now when you multiply two fractions like 1, 4, multiply 2, you should know that when you multiply two fractions, a numerator to a numerator and denominator to a denominator. So 1 multiplied by 8, it's 8. Then 4 multiplied by what? By 3, it's 12. So this thing you can even make it in a simple fraction. So in a simple fraction, it's 8 over 12. So it will be 2 over 3. Meaning this one, it is the simple fraction of that thing. When you multiply this thing, you will get this answer. Like 1 over 4 multiplied by what? By 8 over 3. Yeah, which is that one is the final answer. So this thing multiplied that one, you get 2 over 3. So now it's 2 over 3, which is A4 and B8. Which is this one, it's your final answer. And if you want to, you know that here, if there is nothing, there's a dot. And a dot represents what? Multiply. Meaning anything which is not a fraction, when you multiply to a fraction, it goes upwards. This thing, you can also write it like this. It's 2A4 and B8 over 3. So it's up to you that you want to leave the answer like that or like that. But they won't penalize you if you leave it like that. Yeah. So now, to figure it out, this one, you can figure it out in different ways. We can start by figuring it out these two. We can simplify these two, or we can simplify these two. So let's start by simplifying these two. So if we simplify these two, meaning that that one will be dropped. So here you can multiply small numbers like minus multiply by what? By 5. You'll get what? Negative 10. So it's negative 10 and say m2 plus 5 and say n3 plus 2. So this one you didn't affect it, just drop it as the way it is. Yeah. So now when you figure out this thing, you will find out now it's 10 m7 and 5 4 n. So now you can multiply this thing and that one, you'll just get positive 30 7 plus 4 and 5 plus invisible 1 there. There's invisible 1, which will be 30 I think it's 11, 7 plus, which is 11, yeah, and 6. So this one is the first way that you can approach this question. But what I want you to take note about this question is that when we multiply different sign, when we multiply different sign, we get negative. Do you see that? Yeah. And also, now when we multiply same sign, we get positive. But no need for us to put positive there. You can just leave your answer like that. When you multiply same sign, you get positive. When you multiply different sign, you get negative. And no need for you to put positive there. Yeah. So now let me show you another approach here. So here's another approach for this question. So let me just copy it. So n over. Yeah. So from this question, what you can do, you can start by simplifying this thing, which is this thing. When we multiply different sign, we get negative 15, and now m5 plus 4. This one times it's 5, yeah, and n2 plus invisible 1. So now this one, you can drop it as the way it is to m3. So now when I simplify this thing, I will find out the bar I'm carrying minus 5 over 9, yeah, and 3. Yeah. So check something now. When we multiply same sign, we get positive. Yeah. We get positive m2 plus 9 and 3 plus 3, which is the final answer here will be 30, m11, and n6. And this final answer, I'm sure is the same as that one. Do you see? So there's two ways that you can approach this question. Then you can just screenshot and do your own notes for this. Okay. So here's another questions. Then here we are simplifying by applying a first law. So you know this thing, you can simplify it like this or like that. First combine this one or first combine this one. So here I can just combine those one which are inside the bracket, which will give me what? So when I multiply the same sign, I'll get positive what? 6 P1 plus 1 and Q3 plus. So this number, it is negative, you can just put inside a bracket like that. And because that 5 we didn't affect it, you can drop it as the way it is. So now when you simplify this thing inside a bracket there, you'll find out it's 6P2Q, and this thing when you punch it from calculator, say 3 plus minus, so there you get 1, and 1, no need for you to put 1, yeah, will be just invisible, say 5. So now 5 multiplied by 6, you get 30 P2Q. So this one is your final answer. Yeah. Then go down. Yeah. So now check something about this question. So here we got bigger numbers. And bigger numbers, you don't just multiply them like, say, multiply by 65. You see the number that you get a big number. So what you can do here is to convert those numbers into exponential format. So 125 and say equal, and say shift, and say fact. Then now you can see that it's 5, 3, a, b minus 2. And now let's convert to 625. It's called equal shift fact. So you can say that you get what? Get 5 minus 1 b 3. So again, now we have the same base now. And when we multiply same base, we'll add the exponent. Invisible 1 plus minus 1. And also p, b, and then say plus 3. You can just put inside the bracket. Make sure, guys, that negative numbers you put inside the bracket. So now when you punch this thing on the calculator, you'll find out that it's 5, 7, and A0. Like, okay, sorry guys about it. So you can see now when you punch this thing on calculator, like 1 plus minus 1, you get 0 there. And now when you punch this thing on calculator, minus 2 and plus 3, you will get 1, which is invisible 1. Do you see? Yeah. And now anything which has exponent 0, it's 1, meaning this thing is 5, 1b. Then the final answer, it's just 5, 7b. and no need for you to convert that number, because you'll get like a bigger number. Do you see? No need to. So you can just leave your answer like that. Then for the next question, okay guys, do not forget to smash this button. By smashing this button, you will get a notification of new videos. Do not smash your phone, just smash the button. So let's go back to the lesson. So for this question, no need for you to convert these numbers into have the same base. Small numbers, we don't convert them. Because check something, if you try to convert 7, it's equal to shift and fat. Do you see? You cannot convert them. Even 3, it's equal to shift and fat. So small numbers, you cannot convert them. What do you do with small numbers? Just multiply them the way they are, so that you can get 21, which is also a small number. And now you know that when you multiply the same base, you add the exponent. And make sure that a negative number you put inside a bracket and say b, and here say minus 3, add the exponent, which is 0. Even this thing, it's 1, guys. Here I was supposed to just put 1, but no problem. I can just put 0 there, so that it's 1a. So you punch that thing on calculator, you get minus 1 and minus 3. So check 2 plus minus 3. So do you see that you get minus 1? Yeah. So now guys, don't leave your answer in negative exponent. You must change those negative exponents to be positive. To change them, put invisible 1 there, and this thing will reciprocate. Even here you put invisible 1, this thing will reciprocate. It means that it will flip. Then it will become like 1, and here down a and b 3. Do you see Mustari? So this thing, it will just flip, then it become like that. This one, it will flip, become like this. And now what you should know is that here, if there is nothing, there is a dot. There is a dot, and dot represent multiply. And now you know that between these two things, when you multiply fraction, you know a numerator to a numerator, denominator to a denominator. So 1 multiplied by 1, you get 1. And a multiplied by b, it will be just a, b, 3. Do you see that? Yeah. And this number again now, when you multiply to this thing, it will go upwards, it become the 21. So this one will be your final answer. Yeah. Because anything which is not a fraction, when you multiply to a fraction, it goes upwards, become like that. Yeah. So now for this one, now you know anything which is raised by 0, it is 1, meaning all this thing, it's being raised by 0, meaning it's 1 there. And drop this one as the way it is. So that one will just disappear, guys. It will be x. Yeah. So guys, 1 in most cases, it always disappear. Even here, that one just disappear. That one, get that answer. Even here, that one just disappear, get the same answer. Yeah. So now from this one, you know that this thing is being raised by what? By 0, meaning this thing is 1. And that one, you know, it will disappear. Plus x2. So that one will just disappear, become. And now we don't multiply, now we add. So now here, if there is no multiply here, there is plus or minus, you should know that we're collecting what? Like terms. So like terms have the same base and same exponent, meaning now we'll collect these numbers. So we'll just say 2 plus 6 it's equal to what? 8. And same base and same exponent, leave them. So this one, guys, will be the final answer. But for the like terms, yeah, I'll do them for the next video. Yeah. So I just hope, guys, you did understand. So if there is something that if you feel confused with other question, please ask someone who's close to you, who knows maths, so that can help you. And also be aware that there's different ways to approach this question.